Thank you for purchasing a Juki sewing machine. We hope this DVD will be helpful for you to enjoy your sewing. To ensure your safety, turn off the power switch and unplug the power cord from its electrical outlet in these situations. To ensure your safety, turn off the power switch in these situations. While sewing, keep an eye on the needle and keep hands away from all the moving parts. Turn off the power switch. Insert the foot control pin connector into the jack. Insert the machine plug into the power inlet. Insert the power supply plug into the wall outlet. Turn on the power switch. The machine will start running when the Start-Stop button is pressed. The machine starts running slowly for the first few stitches, and it then runs at the speed set by the speed control slider. The machine will stop when pressed a second time. The machine runs slowly as long as the Start-Stop button is being pressed. The Start-Stop button cannot be used when the foot control is connected to the machine. Depress the foot control to start the machine. The further down you press on the foot control, the faster the machine runs. When these patterns are selected, the machine will sew in reverse as long as the reverse button is pressed. Release the button to sew forward. If you press the reverse button when sewing any other patterns, the machine will immediately sew locking stitches and automatically stop. When these patterns are selected, the machine will immediately sew a locking stitch when the auto lock button is pressed. The machine will automatically stop. If you press the auto lock button when sewing any other patterns, the machine will sew a locking stitch at the end of the current pattern. The machine will automatically stop. Press the needle up-down button to bring the needle up or down. The machine will stop with the needle up or down depending on the needle position determined by this button. When you start to sew with the needle up position, the machine will stop in the needle up position. When you start to sew with the needle down position, the machine will stop in the needle down position. Sewing speed can be varied by the speed control slider according to your sewing needs. To increase sewing speed, move the slider to the right. To decrease sewing speed, move the slider to the left. The LCD display shows the following information when the machine is turned on: stitch pattern number, identification letter for recommended foot, stitch width, stitch length, and cursors. Press the cursor buttons to move the cursor under the stitch pattern number. Press the value set buttons to change the stitch pattern number. The number will increase or decrease by 1 each time you press the value set button. Press the left button to move the cursor under the tens digit of the stitch pattern number. The number will increase or decrease by 10 each time you press the value set button. Draw the stitch chart drawer to the right. The stitch chart indicates all the available stitch patterns. Press the cursor buttons to move the cursor under the stitch width. Press the up button to increase stitch width. Press the down button to decrease stitch width. Press the cursor buttons to move the cursor under the stitch length. Press the up button to increase stitch length. Press the down button to decrease stitch length. The ideal straight stitch has threads locked between 2 layers of fabric as illustrated. If you look at the top and bottom of the seam, notice that the stitches are evenly balanced. Adjustment may be necessary according to the stiffness and thickness of the fabric, number of fabric layers, or type of stitch. The bobbin thread shows through on the right side of the fabric and the stitch feels bumpy. Turn the dial to a lower number to loosen the needle thread tension. The needle thread shows through on the wrong side of the fabric and the stitch feels bumpy. Turn the dial to a higher number to tighten the needle thread tension. The extension table provides an extended sewing area and can be easily removed for free arm sewing. Pull the table away from the machine. Accessories are stored inside the extension table. Free arm is useful for sewing tubular garments and for darning knee or elbow areas. The drop feed lever is located underneath the free arm bed on the back of the machine. Before button sewing, lower the feed dog. To drop the feed dog, push the lever in the direction of the arrow, 1. To raise the feed dog, push the lever in the direction of the arrow, 2, and turn the hand wheel towards you. The feed dog must be up for normal sewing. Turn off the power switch before changing the foot. Always use the proper foot for the selected pattern. Raise the needle to its highest position by turning the hand wheel counterclockwise. Raise the presser foot and press the lever on the back of the foot holder. Place the selected presser foot so that the pin on the foot lies just under the groove in the foot holder. Lower the presser bar to lock the foot into place. Turn off the power switch before removing the bobbin. Gently slide the hook cover release button to the right and remove the hook cover plate. Lift out the bobbin. Lift up the spool pin. Place a spool of thread on the spool pin. Attach the large spool holder and press it firmly against the spool of thread so that the spool rests on the supporter. The small spool holder is used with narrow or small spools of thread. Set the speed control slider at its fastest position for bobbin winding. Turn on the power switch. Draw the thread from the spool and pass the thread around the bobbin winding tension disc. Thread through the hole in the bobbin from the inside to the outside. Put the bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle. Push the bobbin to the right. The bobbin icon appears on the LCD display. With the free end of the thread held in your hand, start the machine. Stop the machine when it has wound a few layers, and then cut the thread close to the hole in the bobbin. Start the machine. When the bobbin is fully wound, it will stop spinning automatically. Then stop the machine. Return the bobbin winder to its original position by moving the spindle to the left. Remove the bobbin, cut the thread as shown. Turn off the power switch before inserting the bobbin and threading the bobbin holder. Place a bobbin in the bobbin holder with the thread running off counterclockwise. Guide the thread into the first notch, A, on the front side of the bobbin holder. Draw the thread to the left, sliding it between the tension spring blades. Continue to draw the thread lightly until the thread slips into the second notch, B. Pull out about 6 inches of thread. Attach the hook cover plate. Raise the presser foot. Turn on the power switch and press the needle up-down button to raise the thread take-up lever to its highest position. Turn off the power switch before threading the machine. While holding the thread near the spool, draw the end of the thread around the upper thread guide. Draw the end of the thread down around the check spring holder. Firmly draw the thread up from right to left over the take-up lever and down into the take-up lever eye. Pass the thread through the lower thread guide. Slide the thread behind the needle bar thread guide on the left. Turn off the power switch when using the needle threader. Lower the presser foot. Pull down the needle threader knob as far as it will go. The hook comes out through the needle eye from behind. Draw the thread from the left guide to the right guide and under the hook. Draw the thread to the front along the right side of the right guide. Raise the knob, drawing the thread loop through the needle. Pull the thread through the needle eye. Raise the presser foot. Hold the needle thread lightly with your left hand. Turn the power switch on. Press the needle up-down button twice to lower and raise the needle to pick up the bobbin thread. Gently pull on the upper thread to bring the bobbin thread up through the needle plate hole. Pull both threads 4 to 6 inches under and behind the presser foot. Raise the presser foot and position the fabric next to a seam guide line on the needle plate. Turn the hand wheel towards you to lower the needle to a starting position. Pull the threads toward the rear and lower the presser foot. Depress the foot control to start sewing. Stop the sewing machine by releasing your foot from the foot control. To secure the beginning and end of the seam, press the reverse button and sew several reverse stitches. Raise the presser foot and remove the fabric gently. Use the thread cutter on the face cover to cut the threads. Stop the sewing machine when you reach a corner. Lower the needle by pressing the needle up-down button. Raise the presser foot. Pivot the fabric around the needle to change the sewing direction as desired. Lower the foot and start sewing in a new direction. The black button on the zigzag foot locks the foot in the horizontal position. This is helpful when starting sewing from the far edge of thick fabrics or sewing across a hem. Lower the needle into the fabric at the point where you wish to start sewing. Lower the foot while pushing the black button in. The foot is locked in the horizontal position to avoid slipping. The button is released automatically after sewing a few stitches. The needle drop position can be adjusted for straight stitch patterns. Press the cursor buttons to move the cursor under the stitch width. Press the down button to move the needle to the left. Press the up button to move the needle to the right. This stitch pattern combines the straight and the zigzag stitches using the overedge foot to seam and overcast in one step. Turn off the power switch before changing the foot. Change the presser foot to the overedge foot. Turn on the power switch. Set the cursor under the stitch pattern number. Press the value buttons to select the number of overedge stitch. Place your fabric so that the raw edges fit under the wire guides and touch the black ridge. Mark the positions of the buttonhole on the fabric. Use the automatic buttonhole foot. Pull the button holder to the back and place the button in it. Push it together tightly on the button. The size of a buttonhole is automatically set by placing a button in the rear of the automatic buttonhole foot. Turn off the power switch before changing the foot. Attach the automatic buttonhole foot, snapping the pin into the groove of the foot holder. Turn on the power switch. Select the stitch pattern. We'll use this buttonhole stitch as an example. Raise the presser foot. Draw the needle thread to the left through the hole of the foot. Place the fabric under the buttonhole foot. Lower the needle at the starting point by turning the hand wheel and lower the presser foot. Pull the buttonhole lever down as far as it will go. Start sewing while pulling the needle thread lightly to the left. After sewing a few stitches, free the thread and continue sewing. When the buttonhole is finished, the machine will stop automatically with the needle in the up position. Raise the presser foot and cut the thread. Place a pin just below the bar tack to prevent accidentally cutting the stitches. Cut the opening with the seam ripper. When buttonhole sewing is finished, push the buttonhole lever upward as far as it will go. Your machine has a wide variety of decorative stitches. We will use this stitch as an example. Turn off the power switch before changing the foot. Attach the satin stitch foot. Turn on the power switch. Set the cursor under the stitch pattern number. Press the value buttons to select the number of the stitch pattern. If you press the auto lock button during sewing, the machine will sew a locking stitch at the end of the current pattern and stop automatically. The sewing results of stretch stitch patterns may vary depending on sewing conditions, such as sewing speed, fabric type, number of layers, etc. If stretch stitch patterns are deformed, correct them by turning the feed balancing dial with the screwdriver. Pull the extension table away from the machine. If the pattern is compressed, turn the dial in the direction of plus. If the pattern is drawn out, turn the dial in the direction of minus. Turn off the power switch and unplug the power cord from its electrical outlet before changing the needle. Raise the needle to its highest position by turning the hand wheel counterclockwise and lower the presser foot. Loosen the needle clamp screw by turning it counterclockwise. Remove the needle from the needle clamp. Insert a new needle into the needle clamp with the flat side to the rear. When inserting the needle into the needle clamp, push it up as far as it will go. Tighten the needle clamp screw firmly by turning it clockwise. Press the needle up-down button to raise the needle. Turn off the power switch and unplug the power cord from its electrical outlet before cleaning. Remove the needle and presser foot. Remove the hook cover plate by sliding the hook cover plate release button to the right. Take out the bobbin. Remove the set screws on the needle plate with the screwdriver. Remove the needle plate. Lift up the bobbin holder and remove it. Clean the bobbin holder with a lint brush and a dry cloth. Clean the feed dog and hook race with the lint brush. Clean the inside of the hook race with a dry cloth. Insert the bobbin holder so that the knob fits next to the stopper in the hook race. Attach the needle plate with the set screws.